into that other world thanks to what appeared to be a miracle, while some were lucky enough to become royalty, nobles, and other powerful people. One girl was not so fortunate. She is forced to endure extreme hardship after being reborn as a spider monster of the weakest kind in a dungeon full of vicious beasts. Despite this, she continues to press on and survive against creatures far stronger than herself. Armed only with her human knowledge and unwavering optimism, after defeating the humans guarding the exit to the labyrinth, Nameless emerges into the outside world. When she receives a telepathic message from her mother instructing her to return to the labyrinth, which she disregards, her new objective is to evolve into an Anirecap, a half-human, half-spider monster that can communicate with humans. Shun and his family meet Potamus, the elven chief, who informs them that negotiations with the demons have ceased since the current demon lord's ascension, and warns Shun not to trust the church. Hugo's kidnapping of Shun causes Keisha and Sue to worry about him at the academy. Nameless mother, angered by her disobedience in the past, sends an army of spider monsters to bring her back. However, she easily dispatches the majority of them before teleporting the remainder to the middle stratum and destroying them with heat. Her mother then attempts to exert control over her once more, prompting her to send her parallel minds through their psychic link and launch an attack on her mind. Hugo is revealed to be collaborating with Siles, the older half-brother of Shun. Unknown comes upon a carriage being attacked by bandits and aids them. After defeating the attackers, she discovers that one of the occupants, a vampire baby named Sophia, is also a reincarnation. Nameless, envious of how easy her life is, departs, but then observes a group of elves planning to kidnap the infant. Consequently, she discards them as well. Sue murders her father, the king, and frames Shun in the present. Siles and Hugo then arrest him and explain that the king intended to appoint Shun as his successor in order to keep him off the battlefield, so they collaborated to execute this coup d'etat. However, Shun is able to escape with the assistance of Oka and Hirons, Oka's maid Anna, and Leston, his brother. Nonetheless, while they are recuperating, they are attacked by a group led by Hugo's reincarnation ally, who is revealed to be Sophia, and Keisha, who has been brainwashed. While they are able to rescue Keisha, Sophia and her attackers overpower them until Faye, who has transformed into a massive light dragon, arrives and carries them all to safety on her back. Sophia then telepathically informs the demon lord that her mission has been accomplished. As Nameless's parallel minds consume her mother's mind, they discover that they are in prison when her mother suddenly exits the labyrinth to pursue her. Nameless, finding herself completely outmatched, teleports back to her labyrinth nest but is ambushed by additional pterodactyls. She attempts to flee but is halted by a puppet pterodact, a small spider-like monster that controls a human-sized mannequin. She finally turns the tide by killing one and gaining a level, which fully heals her, before teleporting herself and the remaining enemies to the lava floor, where they perish from the heat. After reaching her maximum level, Nameless evolves once more. At this time, Oka informs Shun and the others that Hugo intends to attack the elf village, so they decide to head there to stop him, with the exception of Leston, who chooses to deal with the current state of the kingdom. However, this journey will take them through the same labyrinth in which Nameless once resided. Following her most recent evolution, Nameless realizes she now possesses the immortality greater than ability. She is subsequently contacted by Dee, who congratulates her on being the first to reach this species, and explains why she and her classmates were reincarnated prior to their departure. The explosion that killed everyone was actually an attempt on Dee's life by a former hero and demon king, revealing that she is one of the classmates. In the present, Shun's party has arrived at the labyrinth, where they hire a guide named Baskath to lead them through it, and Faye reveals that she can now assume human form. Given that Hugo's Imperial army is guarding the entrance, the guide sneaks them in through an undersea entrance, despite a water dragon causing trouble. Nameless reaches the sea in the past, where she has her own encounter with a water dragon and develops an idea. She kills the puppet pterodactyl by flooding the cave with water before re-entering the outside world. Suddenly, however, she is ambushed by the origin pterodactyl Ariel, the demon lord, who immediately shatters her body. Ariel, in the demon realm, plans an assault on the elf village. During their exploration of the labyrinth, Shun's party camps out. Shun is unable to sleep, so Baskath tells him about his encounter with Nameless, who is now known as the Nightmare of the Labyrinth. Time being of the essence, the group decides to take a short but perilous road through the Nightmare's previous residence. This causes an earth dragon to attack them, but they are able to defeat it. However, they are then confronted by a swarm of Nightmare's vestiges, which are said to be the Nightmare's offspring in the form of spider-like monsters. Upon realizing, however, that Shun and Co are reincarnations, they are allowed to pass. On the back of Faye's dragon form, the group exits the labyrinth through an opening. In the past, it is revealed that Nameless survived due to her immortality greater than, but she ponders the fact that there is magic that can kill even immortals. Ariel realizes with fury that Nameless is still alive when one of her parallel minds uses her connection with Mother to attack her mind. Nameless discovers herself in proximity to Sophia's hometown, which is once again under attack by elves. In the present, Shun's group traverses the same city. There, they discover the animosity between the world's two predominant religions, the Word of God Church and Goddess religion, and Oka reveals that Hugo has likely brainwashed the church leaders, prompting Shun to conclude that they must defeat him. In the past, Nameless murders the elves attempting to kidnap Sophia as well as anyone else who appears suspicious. This catches Potamus's attention, as he fears that Ariel and the church may have discovered his plans to gather the reincarnations. Justin, the pontiff of the church, is also aware but chooses to disregard it as he prepares for war against the goddess religion. Eventually, the townspeople become aware of Nameless and believe she is a divine beast dispatched by the goddess. Later, a mother brings her sick child to Nameless and begs her to heal him, which she does hesitantly. The following day, however, Nameless discovers that word has spread and that the entire town has lined up to be healed by her. The members of Shun's party arrive at the elf village, where they are met by Potamus, whom they believe to have been killed in Hugo's coup. Following a night of rest, Oka guides Shun, Faye, and Keisha to the elf village's other reincarnations. However, during their joyous reunion, the others reveal that they were in fact kidnapped by the elves, causing Shun and his companions to be alarmed and suspicious. In the past, Sophia's parents receive an impossible demand from the neighboring country to hand over Nameless. Potamus arrives next, but ultimately decides not to pursue Sophia while Nameless is nearby. Nameless teleports to her mother after determining she is sufficiently weakened to kill her, but she severely underestimates her and falls into a trap. However, her parallel minds then returns, transferring all the stolen stats from her mother to her, and allowing her to kill her with relative ease. After discovering her mother's corpse, Ariel swears vengeance and attacks an earth dragon that claims it is natural for the elderly to make way for their children. An envoy from a neighboring kingdom appears before Nameless and declares her to be their property, but she ignores them and walks away. She is then confronted by the same administrator she encountered in the labyrinth, who identifies himself as Ghoulie and requests that she cease attacking Ariel and interacting with humans. She refuses, arguing that she must intervene to prevent the end of the world. Unfortunately, after Ghoulie departs, Nameless is assaulted by the envoy's guards, forcing her to kill them in self-defense. However, using the envoy's death as a pretext for war, the neighboring country declares war, and Nameless, upon realizing what she has done, decides to face their army herself. At this time, Oka questions whether she has made the best decisions. It is revealed that she possesses a unique ability called Student Roster Greater Than that informs her of the reincarnation's place of birth, health, and manner of death, which prompted her to make a deal with Potamus to effectively imprison them in the elf village for their own safety. In the meantime, Ariel's forces have infiltrated Hugo's army and are using them as cover as they advance on the elf village. While preparing for the upcoming battle, two more of Shun's former classmates, Kunayako and Asaka, as well as Oka, informs them of the elven theory regarding their reincarnation. The RPG system that governs this world is governed by beings known as administrators, who feed on the energy of people's skills and summon them to develop formidable abilities. She also reveals that Hugo is likely being manipulated by them, whereas Sophia willingly serves them. As the group speculates on the whereabouts of the two still missing reincarnations, the entrance to the elf village is attacked by Sajin, who became a church assassin. After Sajin destroys the entrance and flees, locking everyone inside, the barrier surrounding the village is suddenly breached, allowing Hugo's forces to launch an attack. Oka leads the elf counterattack and, having learned through her skill that Hugo is doomed to die in this location, confronts him in order to kill him. Despite the fact that she is able to defeat a brainwashed Yuri, she is defeated by Hugo and Sophia. However, before he can finish her off, Shun and his party arrive and save her. In the past, Nameless engages in combat with the neighboring nation, resulting in massive enemy casualties. When Ariel suddenly appears, it is revealed that after killing the dragon, Ariel's soul merged with Nameless' parallel mind, causing her to adopt some of the latter's characteristics. Nonetheless, she desires vengeance and has Gula Destodes, who came to check on her, teleport her to the location of Nameless. Ariel employs several abilities that prevent Nameless from using magic or teleportation, forcing her to rely on self-healing and leveling up with experience gained from collateral damage in order to survive. Eventually, a young Julius interrupts their battle, causing Ariel to stop fighting out of fear of the secret effect of the hero Greater Than, which causes them to always defeat the demon lord Greater Than. However, Ariel is able to distract Nameless before using abyss magic, which is capable of destroying even immortals, to vaporize him. In the present, despite the desire of his allies to assist, Shun insists on facing Hugo by himself. As the battle for the elf village continues, Podemas orders the Gloria Greater Than units to engage in combat. In the meantime, Hugo is easily defeated by Shun, and Sophia refuses to aid him, revealing her affiliation with the demons and the fact that they were using him as a smokescreen. Hugo is enraged at being manipulated, but she dismisses him with ease. Shun and his party engage in combat with her, but they are similarly defeated with ease. Faye attempts to surrender on behalf of everyone, but Shun refuses, believing that Julius will not surrender either. Unfortunately, they are then ambushed by reinforcements led by the last missing classmate, Wrath, commander of the 8th Demon Army and Shun's friend in a previous life. Nonetheless, the elves launch a counterattack with the Gloria Greater Than units, which are revealed to be mechanical tank drones, and eliminate all the demons except for Sophia and Wrath. Ariel and the woman in white who killed Julius are approaching the village when Julius decides to check on Sophia and Wrath. Shun attempts to stop Sophia and Wrath, but he is overpowered, and Anna takes the fatal blow in his place. Shun revives her with a forbidden mercy Greater Than skill out of desperation. This raises his taboo Greater Than to level 10, causing him to discover the world's truth. Hugo attacks Sophia after spotting an opening, but is knocked unconscious by the woman in white, whom Shun and his party recognize as their classmate Wakaba, the spider with no given name. Wakaba survived Ariel's attack in the past by transferring her consciousness into an egg she laid beforehand, which later hatched into a baby. She then uses the combat experience she gained to evolve into an Iraq. Podemas attacks Sophia's home, kills her parents, and mortally wounds Merazofis, forcing Sophia to transform him into a vampire. Fortunately, Wakaba arrives and engages Podemas, but is cornered until Ariel appears and defeats him, revealing that he was only a mechanical copy. Ariel then calls for a ceasefire, to which Wakaba agrees,